Be careful of success. Even that has a dark side. From the actor Robert Redford. Welcome to Grimly.
All right. We're recording. All right, how do we intro the show? It's just like different every time.
It really truly is. We have no script. We have no... This is like no man's land. We're
So
like podcasting. It is messy.
And then sometimes it'll just eventually be like, welcome to Grimly.
You're like, oh, by the way. Honestly, the last episode, it was like 10 minutes. And we're like, oh, by the way.
No.
This is Grimly.
It's a lot.
You know, it's okay. But yeah, this is Grimly.
Yeah, welcome to Grimly.
I'm Missy.
I'm Meg.
And this is a really professional, super stable, mentally capable.
Definitely mentally capable. That's not a question.
Sometimes. But yeah, this is Grimly. What was I going to ask you about? Specifically on the podcast. Oh, did you watch Talk to Me?
Yes, I did. That's the one with the hand. That
Yeah.
grabs him.
What did you think?
I liked it. Was it like a Australian film?
I did not like it.
You know what? That one young boy being beat to literal shit was traumatizing.
That was bad.
It was really bad. Did he live though? Right?
Mhm.
Oh my god!
Spoiler alert. Sorry, guys.
Oh yeah. But why didn't you like it? Why would you ask me about a movie you don't like?
I was just wondering what you thought.
Is it having to do with our story today?
No,
Oh,
no,
okay.
not at all. No, but there was like no one in that movie that was likable.
Oh, that's true. I mean, that like one antagonistic kind of androgynous
Yes,
character
the main character.
was kind of a pain in the ass for sure.
They were all pain in the asses. I mean, they're teenagers. I guess it's maybe like the MO. The only likable character was Miranda Otto, which was the mom,
Oh.
who was Aowen in Lord of the Rings.
Oh, this is all going away from my head.
She had like strawberry blonde hair.
Her face,
It's not
I
right.
cannot even pull it up. The
Whatever.
movie's about the children.
It is. But like that's speaking to the fact that like the only likable character in that fucking movie to me was the goddamn mom.
I didn't think it was so bad.
It just like it didn't seem to have a direction. Like I couldn't tell what was actually like happening. Like were they demons?
Where are we going?
Were they spirits?
I actually still don't think I know that.
You know, it seemed like it was a movie that needed to like have like another heavy edit maybe to it or something.
Sure. Yeah, I see that.
You know,
Yeah.
it seemed like a movie that had a lot of hype around it.
Yeah.
And then it was just like, Like,
Yeah.
like Smile, same way for me.
I didn't see that one, but I thought that one was going to be shitty.
Really?
I did.
I thought it was going to be really good. If you haven't seen it, I don't really want to ruin it for you.
You can ruin it.
Well, so I'll let you know this. The best part of that movie was in the preview, which was very disappointing. When, like, the sister or the character is walking down the stairs to the car, and there's that part where, like, the head spins, like, and the face is there. That was the best part of that fucking movie.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Well, because the whole premise is, like, you get possessed by this demon from someone else, like, passing it on.
Oh, right. Okay.
If you witness their gruesome death, like, via themselves or,
okay.
you know, like, that's usually what happens. And
Unaliving.
then, unaliving themselves, and, like, it passes whatever was following them onto you. Kind of like it follows in the same way. But there's a character in it where he, like, kind of beats the system by unaliving someone else.
Okay.
But he's
murder.
Yeah, he's in jail for it.
Okay.
Yeah, so he's in jail for murdering somebody else. But that's like this is how I was like basically able to stay alive.
Oh.
Yeah. So it's either
He's like a victim?
Yeah, he was a victim of it, but like
and then he was in jail?
And then he like
prison?
he broke the cycle because he killed somebody else.
Oh god.
But because he killed somebody else, he basically got rid of whatever curse was following
But now
him.
he's in prison.
But now he's in prison.
He seems like a victim.
Yeah, but in my head,
Okay.
with this movie, you just go kill a fucking Nazi sympathizer in front of other Nazi sympathizers, and then it passes the curse on to the Nazis.
Okay. I've got to...
There's a plan here.
Wow. Really coming at the Nazis and die.
Yes, I am. Pretty hard. But like he told the main character, like, hey, you should do this. This is how you get rid of it.
Has a choice.
So she has a choice. And so the whole movie, the rest of like half of the movie, she's teetering. She's like, do I do this or not? It's like, yeah, go fucking kill a child molester. I don't know. I guess like, yeah, for like Talk to Me and Smile, it just like were disappointing.
Okay, well, the movie roundup at the top of the show today.
Yeah, I guess. Well, because so those are both made by A24, which also made Heredity and Midsommar, which are great horror movies.
Thank you. You said it the way it's supposed to be pronounced. Midsommar.
Yeah.
And I've had people look at me like I'm insane for saying it that way.
Really?
Yes.
Huh.
Thank you.
It's literally in the title.
It's the way it's spelled.
Yeah. Sometimes I just wonder if I'm completely desensitized to horror movies in general. I don't know if you feel this way too.
Oh, okay.
Just like because I've watched so many, maybe. Sometimes.
Possible.
Like there's, every once in a while there's one that gets me.
Did you see Barbarian, though?
Yeah, you told me about Barbarian.
Did you like it?
I did like it.
That's great.
It was good. It was a good movie. Same with like the newest Evil Dead movie.
I haven't seen it.
Really? I thought, bitch, you told me you did. We
no, I did. Oh, yeah, with Evil Dead Rise.
Yes.
With the mom.
Yeah.
That was scary.
It was good. It was like body horror. It wasn't, to me, like body horror where you're like cringe. You're like, oh, I don't want to look.
Yeah, I don't want to look because it's fucking scary.
Or just gross.
And scary.
See, that's not scary.
I don't like the possession and like the paranormal stuff really kind of gives me the creeps.
See, that's scary though. That's like
fucking scary. I don't like it. I'm so afraid of the dark.
I think I just completely am like, this isn't real, so I just don't care.
If you lived in this house, would you want to watch scary movies?
I did watch scary movies at this house. You kidding me?
Oh man.
I think I'm just completely insane.
Yeah, maybe you're desensitized.
I think I'm a little desensitized.
Nothing is scary to you?
There's a movie I watched recently called Host. I think I told you about.
Yes, that was like the
that one,
webcam.
Yeah. The Zoom meeting. Yeah, that one freaked me out.
Didn't get me, but I might have been in a different kind of mood at the time.
Yeah. There was a movie I watched on Amazon. God, I wonder if I can look it up. So the reason why I think it freaked me out so much is it was about this guy that was a YouTuber, and he was like an outdoors YouTuber. I meant to look this up earlier, so I knew I was not talking about it.
Have you seen The Strangers though?
I have not watched
Liv Tyler.
Yeah,
that's fucking terrifying.
Yeah, I think I would be very scared of that movie. Honestly, I can't find it.
No, Missy. I actually am shocked that you haven't seen that.
You know,
I did that immediately.
So funny enough, there was a guy I was dating, and he always told me about The Strangers because we used to talk about this stuff all the time. He's like, you have to watch this. I really want to watch it with you though.
So you were waiting.
So I was waiting, like a fucking idiot.
No, not doing that.
And then
watch it. I don't want to
stopped
watch it
seeing, and then I stopped seeing each other.
You know what? Maybe we should watch it together with Dave because I'm not sure Dave has seen it, but maybe he has. I'll ask him.
Okay.
And then if he's seen it, then we can watch it. If he hasn't seen it, we can watch it together. Otherwise, you should watch it immediately.
Yeah, I do know that's like one of the top scary movies. But so the whole premise of the other movie I just was describing is, so there's this YouTuber who has like this like outdoorsy YouTube account where he goes on like backpacking trips in, I think Nevada is like the setting, and he comes across this weird random like little like shed cabin thing in the middle of nowhere. And he talks about on his YouTube channel.
Oh, okay.
This is a little fake. But he talked about on his YouTube channel that he got like a really weird vibe. There's like smoke coming out of the chimney, but no one came out. He just said like he like felt very uncomfortable.
Okay, it's kind of like Blair Witchy.
Very Blair Witchy. Mm-hmm. And so he goes back and he uploads this video. And basically his entire YouTube following is like, you're making this up. This isn't real. You're lying.
Good.
And he was like, well, no, I have to go back out and prove it to you guys that it was there.
Okay.
And so he goes back out and some shit fucking happens.
Oh my god.
And the last like 10-15 minutes of that movie like creeps me the fuck out. I wish I could find the name.
You need to.
I need
this
to.
Is a crime. cry. Whenever I get this close to the mic, this is serious. This is a cry.
We're not fucking around anymore.
It's
Okay.
actually very rude.
All right. Okay. I'm gonna pause the recording. I'm
Put
gonna
it in the show notes.
pause. I'll pause this recording. Okay. We found the movie. Fucking 15 years later.
It actually was not that easy to find.
It really wasn't. It's called Horror in the High Desert. And you can confirm it looks like an actual, like,
It looks like a documentary.
creepy. It's like a found footage movie. It's very short. It's only like an hour long.
Okay.
Maybe like an hour 20.
Okay.
But like, I love like a good sappy horror movie. You know, I don't need like this long,
It's true.
drawn out
It's very true.
bullshit.
Honestly, most movies are way too long right now.
I agree.
Why are we ever spending 3 hours in the movie?
Like, can we like legitimately bring back the 90-minute movie?
90-minute movies?
Or give me a goddamn intermission, like Sound of the Wind.
See what?
Go to the bathroom.
Because in the movie theater, you mean?
Yes.
That's true. It's why it's just better to watch movies at home.
Why did I say Sound of the Wind? What am I thinking of?
I don't know. That went totally over my head.
Gone with the Wind. Jesus.
That's the movies that I'm really followed because there's an intermission.
It's all the older movies that have that intermission. Like a
Is there an intermission in Sound of Music too?
maybe.
Honestly, probably not.
I have no idea. But Gone with the Wind
Sorry.
is the movie I was
didn't help you out.
But yeah, Horror in the High Desert is the movie I was thinking of. Highly recommend it.
I will watch it.
Go watch it.
It's so scary.
It freaks me out. It freaked me out, I think, specifically because it's about this guy alone in the woods.
Yeah.
He's like backpacking.
Yeah. This is fine for me. What are we talking about today?
Okay, so today we are diving into another murder case.
Okay.
This one was really hard for me to compile, I'm not gonna lie.
You know what is so wild? I hear podcasters say that all the time. The people that are doing the research. Never the person like me just listening to it. But it's very interesting to hear you say that.
Well, so this one, we're covering the Chris Benoit case.
Oh yeah, I know this.
Okay, you have heard. Like, this
He's
is
a
a very,
wrestler.
yeah, this is a very famous case.
Yeah, it's not easy.
No.
It's messy.
This is messy.
Yeah.
But there's also, I think with wrestling specifically, there's so much context within wrestling itself
Okay.
where I wanted to do the story justice. I want to do the family justice. And talking about this, where you kind of had to I had to dive head first into wrestling.
Okay.
And just try to understand what the hell is going on.
Yeah.
And I did way more research than I have done on any other episode so far.
Oh.
I think probably because I knew so much more contextually wise what was going on. But for this I was fuck, I don't know what the hell they're talking about. What does this mean, you know? And so I redid these notes 3 times. I literally was working on these today. So
okay. All right.
But yeah, so this is Chris Benoit. For those of you that don't know, I know you know. Chris Benoit was known as one of the best professional wrestlers out there and had a ton of championships and titles underneath his belt, literally and figuratively, because they won belts. And big giant fuck. I would kind of want one.
Yeah, totally.
I don't know.
Absolutely.
Just fucking mount it out
Yeah.
a wall.
I mean, they get paid all the time.
They don't get paid that much.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
Oh, that makes sense.
Independent-
The Rock went on to be
Yeah.
left to act.
Yeah.
And
And
actually, the other dude. A lot of them do.
a lot of them do. You're thinking of,
The hot one.
wow.
Cena.
Yes, John Cena.
Yeah.
That's what I'm thinking of.
He's not personally my type.
He's got
not
a
bad
good
looking.
jawline.
I'm not upset
For
about
sure.
it.
Yeah, I'm not
But,
upset about
people
it.
like him. Yeah,
Yes.
He's the one that dates the wrestler girl. He had a TV show, her and her sister.
Oh.
You don't know this?
No.
Wow, you didn't do enough research, son.
I
It's not even the same wrestler. I have the pop culture context.
Listen, bitch, I fucking know more than you. That's fine. What is the show?
Don't remember. Something divas. I don't know.
Wrestling
diva.
divas?
A hot girl and her sister were wrestling.
Okay. There's a lot of
Girlies.
women like that.
And
the rest of the world.
she famously dated this guy for a long time.
Okay.
And he would not marry her.
Mm.
And they broke up.
Okay.
And now she's like fine, I'm sure. And he's like an actor now.
Yeah, she has like TV show, sounds like. That's
Well, they had a TV show on the E! Network.
Oh, see, that's why I don't fucking know. The last time I watched anything on the E! Network was Talk Soup with Joel McHale.
That's a good one. No, I met Joel McHale.
Really?
He used to come to the restaurant that I worked at in Atlanta. He's tall. That's all I'll say. He's really tall.
Good for him.
Like the kind of tall that like when you sit at a table, like your legs just sort of like
they like take up the space.
They do into the walkway, because you worked at a restaurant business.
Right.
Those are the kind of things you notice.
Yeah, totally. You're like, that sucks.
That linky
like you fucking have the wrong table. I'm so sorry.
Well, it was just
he
just wasn't in a booth. Like,
yeah,
he didn't even fit in a booth. It was a table just like this size.
Interesting. I don't ever imagine him being that tall.
Very tall, but he was nice.
Yeah. And then the other show I used to watch on E! Network was Chelsea Lately.
Okay.
Those are like on my E! Network.
The same TV show.
They were the fucking same TV show. They made fun of everybody else.
Yeah.
So Chris Benoit was always considered a super nice guy in the wrestling world specifically. Very professional, very stoic, very intense. Was a word that was used a lot.
He seemed like a guy that was like serious.
He was very serious.
So my dad, I know about this because my dad watched wrestling all the time. I grew up with it. I am one of two sisters. Or I'm one of three daughters. And so I've got two sisters. But my dad would make us wrestle each other. He would do wrestling. He would do wrestling with us, throw us around. Like we didn't have any brothers. He had no sons.
Yeah.
Like so we were forced to enjoy.
I
know about all the wrestlers.
And anything I would have known about you were said like, yes, that's definitely your MO. This would not be
surprising.
This is so surprising.
I can list a number of like popular 90s.
So excited
wrestlers.
Because I feel like you're gonna help me so much.
Maybe. Well, it's a lot of it is old.
Yeah.
Child.
I mean, this is early late 2000s.
Okay.
Era. So the Attitude Era is what it's called specifically.
Okay, I'm very interested.
So I heard about this from last podcast on the left.
Did they do an episode?
They did do an episode on this.
Okay, that must be where I know about this story.
Yeah, probably. I can't imagine.
But I remember him seeming like he was a serious guy. He had I think he had black trunks.
Yes,
he wore black
tights.
Okay, and just curly blonde. No,
brown hair.
Brown ponytail.
No,
slick back.
No,
short hair.
Yeah. This is the worst Guess Who game I've ever played in my life.
I wouldn't stop that. I was like, this is just like what they look like. All of them, dude. They might do all.
This is Chris Benoit.
Oh, okay, yeah. He looks angry.
But he never was described as an angry man. He was always described.
He's doing that like. This looks like he's in the ring.
I mean, he is in the ring right here. Most of these pictures are from him.
Villain?
No, he was never
no villain.
Yeah. So villains in wrestling were called heels.
What? You really have done some.
I've really gone fucking deep.
Okay, let me.
Faces and heels. Faces were the good guys. Heels were the bad guys.
Oh, wow.
If I mixed that up, I am so fucking sorry, guys.
No one else knows about this.
Our tens of fans don't.
Okay, all right. Now that I know what he looks like.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm here with you.
God, we haven't even got to the first bullet. No, please. I mean, I have a lot of notes. I'm not gonna lie. I had to cut these out a lot.
All right.
We'll get through
Buckle up.
Knuckle and buckle, baby.
Grab some water. Maybe take a pee break.
Right, let's go for a long drive. So, born May 21st, 1967 in Montreal, Quebec.
Oh, Canadian.
He is a Canadian wrestler. He was born to Margaret and Michael Benoit.
Okay, yeah.
Also had also had a sister named Laura. They eventually, at some point when he was pretty young, they moved to Edmonton. So Chris grew up being a huge wrestling fan and idolized two specific wrestlers named Tom the Dynamite Kid Billington and Bret Hart.
Oh, Bret Hart.
Hart family is like a big dynasty within wrestling, right?
Mm-hmm. I don't know who the other guy is, but I'm not a wrestling expert.
Corey Hart, I believe, was the other one. Hi guys, quick post-recording note here. I mentioned that the other Hart brother from the Hart family was named Corey. It is not Corey. It is Owen Hart. So, for the rest of the episode, please don't when I say Corey, I actually mean Owen. Sorry about that. I'm going to go ahead and blame that one on tequila. So, when Chris was 12, he was actually able to see these two idols, the Dynamite Kid and Bret Hart, wrestle in a match live. And that's when he started to want to become a professional wrestler himself. So Chris prioritized this dream of becoming a wrestler throughout the entirety of his high school career. He literally, this is all he thought about. He thought about wrestling, nothing else.
Okay.
I mean, he graduated high school, but he didn't have a social life outside of wrestling. This is what he wanted to do, which is kind of impressive.
Yeah, he made it to the top.
Yeah, exactly. He also began training to get the physique of a professional wrestler.
Oh.
So because of his dedication, and he kind of was working within the wrestling community, he was volunteering as a cleanup crew or kind of helping with crowd enforcement, stuff like that, very young age. He got noticed and began training at the Hart family dungeon is what they called it.
Where is this?
It's in Canada.
Oh, it's in Canada.
Yeah, it's in Calgary specifically.
Oh, okay.
So he would bus over there on the weekends and train.
Wow, I didn't know there was a.
Oh, yeah. It's very
big deal in Canada.
Yeah, it's a big deal. It's Canada, Japan, Mexico, United States.
Okay.
Japan was the one that surprised me.
I wouldn't have known that. Obviously, the Lucha Libres in Mexico.
Yeah, for sure.
I would not have known that.
No, so he would bus over to Calgary on the weekends. He was trained by Stu and Bruce Hart. There was a couple other sources that gave some other names that trained him, but kind of seemed like Stu and Bruce were the people that owned the facility or the dungeon. The dungeon was in someone's house.
Okay.
It was this downstairs basement area.
Okay, I'm sure it was a wealthy person's house.
Yeah, it's the Hart family.
Yeah, okay.
So Corey Hart.
They had it set up. Okay.
Yeah, Bret Hart. It's his father, Stu. Or maybe, yeah.
It's almost like he's right in there. He made it.
Yeah, he made it super quick.
Yeah.
Essentially.
With the best of the
best. Yeah. And this was a big deal for him to be able to train with this family specifically. And he knew that. And so he really committed to it. So when Chris was 18, right, fresh after high school, he began his professional wrestling career.
Damn.
With Stu Hart's Stampede Wrestling Promotions.
Okay.
Which is a Canadian-based wrestling program show. I don't know what else to call it.
Okay.
And in November 22nd, 1985, he was in a tag team match with the remarkable Rick Patterson, where he began wrestling with moves like the diving headbutt, which is where you go on the top of the ropes, you dive with your head, and get the headbutt.
Wow.
Like it sounds. And then he was also doing something called a snap suplex.
Okay.
Did your father teach you this during his wrestling?
There was a lot of suplex, which usually I feel like it involved my arm being twisted in an uncomfortable position.
Okay.
Behind my back, but I don't know.
So the snap suplex, I looked into specifically because I if you're going to ask me. So if I'm facing you like we are right now. Mm-hmm. We basically go ear to ear.
Okay.
I put an elbow behind you. You put an arm behind me.
Okay.
If you're on the offensive, I basically use I stomp and use my back motion to flip you over me.
Okay.
And we both land on our backs on the mat.
All right. Okay. So we're kind of shoulder to shoulder.
Yeah.
Intertwined.
And then I flip you behind me.
It takes two people working towards.
Yeah.
Listen.
Yeah.
Wrestling. Are we just talking about how gymnastic
it's insane.
And they were kind of partners, even though
so with wrestling moves specifically, the person who's having the move done to them is the person in charge.
Oh, okay.
Because you're the one that's taking the most of the move, right? You're taking most of the blow. It's almost a dance.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's this whole thing about people talking about wrestlers not being true athletes.
Right.
Which I think is kind of bullshit.
It's rude. It's unnecessary.
It is rude. And they are.
It's just, yeah.
Being able to take you and flip you behind my back and both land on our backs.
Yeah,
you have to be able to train and do that and be the athletic ability
100%
to do that.
And consent between there's some amount of trust. Do they practice these things?
They do, yeah.
Do they practice them with their opponents, or do they just like know how to do the moves?
I think so. I think that's probably like the part of like the heart dungeon is where they're kind of training and they're like doing all of this.
Yeah, but if you're fighting somebody,
yes.
I mean, maybe it's just like
no, and there probably is some training there specifically because they plan the matches out beforehand.
They do?
They do.
Wow.
And like there's a whole part of like if you want to like no, I'm not. Not anymore.
It's fake. It's fake, everybody.
Don't be that bitch.
It's fake.
So there's part of like, you know, you have to like build your persona and your career up to like get notoriety and like not necessarily in like a physical way, but like you have to play the game.
It's a character.
It's a character and their storylines.
Play.
It is a play. It's fucking theater, kids that could lift weights.
100%.
Yeah, that's what wrestling is.
Theater.
Yeah,
because it's really kitschy and cheesy.
It's a little cheesy.
It's super cheesy.
You know, here's my thing. I used to think wrestling was kind of lame, but I fucking love Drag Race and drag queens, and they're also cheesy and corny, and it's all a persona. And so, who am I to judge other people based on their like things that they find entertaining, right?
And respectful.
Yeah, I try to be, you know.
Yeah,
the most of my abilities.
That's nice.
So Chris was going by, so because he is using these moves, like we just talked about, Chris was using the wrestling name Dynamite Chris Benoit.
Okay.
If you remember, his idol was the Dynamite Kid.
Got it. Okay.
And he was using his move specifically and was trying to like idolize and emulate him.
Okay.
And so that's when he got the Dynamite.
Giving credit. All right.
Yeah. Yeah, which is nice.
Yeah.
So I'm not gonna put this out here right now. I very, very much condensed, thank you, his wrestling career because there just is so much.
Okay.
And I tried to make it as condensed as possible for sake of this goddamn episode.
All right. Do you want to run through it?
No, it's fine. So from 1985 to 1989, Chris wrestled with the underneath Stampede Wrestling. He won some championships. He got his first big title in March 1988, which was a British Commonwealth Mid-Heavyweight Championship. Just sounds like a bunch of words.
It's a lot of words.
I don't know what that means. But he won that in 1988. And he also got a few other tag team titles because he was started out as a tag team wrestler.
Which is when two of them wrestled together.
Yes. Against two other wrestlers.
Yes. Like a tennis match.
Yeah, there's so many wrestling names thrown out there that I kind of stopped adding them in because just for like people's ability to track this.
Sure. Too many names.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, because Chris's name, wrestling specifically, changes a lot.
A lot. Okay.
I mean, that's just how it is.
Okay.
I don't know how they come up with these names. I don't know if it's like a porn star formula name.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think a porn star name?
No.
Oh, mine's Maddy Woods.
Maddy Woods?
Yeah.
It's not bad. She sounds like a hot.
She's having a good bitch.
That's cute.
Your porn star name is your first pet, the name of your first pet, and either some sort of variation of the street you grew up on or the neighborhood you grew up in.
Mine is a drag queen.
What is that name?
It would be Marcus Big Bend.
You know, I like it. So, in 1989, Stampede Wrestling decided to close its doors. And with the encouragement of other wrestlers, Chris decided to go to Japan because they had a blooming pro wrestling scene.
Wow, okay. What year is this, do we know?
89.
89, okay.
Literally just said that.
Probably listening.
I'm not trying to give you a hard time, but I literally just fucking said it, which just makes it so fucking funny. Anyways, 89. So Chris went over to Japan and joined the New Japan Pro Wrestling Association, which is also called the NJPW.
Were they in Tokyo or do you know what city?
It just said Japan. It's probably Tokyo, I'm imagining.
I think so, but who knows? Flip out.
So in Japan, Benoit started wrestling under the name of the Pegasus Kid.
Okay.
Which is
new country, new name.
New name. And he wore a mask this time with his persona.
Okay.
So he wore like a blue, shiny, like foily, shinily blue mask. And it had like Pegasus wings over the eyes.
That's pretty.
Yeah. He hated it originally, but then he kind of rebuilt the mask.
Okay.
During his time with the NJPW, he also won multiple championships and titles, including a junior heavyweight championship.
Okay.
So he was up and coming throughout this time. And he's pretty young still.
Yeah.
He's like early 20s. So during this time, he also became super close with two other wrestlers named Eddie Guerrero and Dean Malenko.
Okay.
And Eddie Guerrero, he plays a huge part in his life. I haven't heard a whole lot about Dean specifically, but those were the two that were kind of named throughout this part of his life. And all three of these guys kind of came up in the business together. And they were super close, and they were kind of each other's cheerleaders in each other's careers, kind of the entire time they were wrestling. So the NJPW and the World Championship Wrestling, aka the WCW, had talent partnerships. So WCW is in the States, in the United States.
Yep.
The NJPW is in Japan. But they would kind of like trade off back and forth between talent and like kind of go back and forth overseas. And so Chris was also wrestling with the WCW.
And WCW means?
World Championship Wrestling.
World Championship
Wrestling. Yeah. And doing matches with another organization called the ECW, which is the Extreme Championship Wrestling, which is also in the States.
Okay. Extreme Championship?
Yes.
All right.
So he is with the NJPW, the WCW, and the ECW.
Okay.
So that's
you must be doing a lot of wrestling.
Yes. Constantly.
Okay.
Most of the time wrestlers, like I think the statistic is they work 300 days a year.
Really?
Uh-huh.
What?
Yeah.
Why?
I think it's just...
Are they touring?
They're touring. They're traveling other states, other places, and like wrestling.
They're not getting paid very much?
They're not being paid very much.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
So rough on your body.
Yes. So also at this time, Chris had gotten married to his first wife named Martina. And they had 2 kids together named David and Megan. But eventually the marriage fell apart because David became involved with a woman who would eventually become his second wife named Nancy Sullivan.
Okay.
Have you heard that name?
Yes.
Okay. So something I didn't add in here. So the entire time he's doing all these insane like wrestling tours and like this insane schedule, he started using steroids.
Okay.
And steroids has become like kind of a norm with wrestling specifically.
Okay.
Which
probably a lot of sports
specifically, but like wrestling, I think in the 80s and the 90s was pretty rampant.
Because it's like kind of like bodybuilding adjacent, right?
Yes.
Which, obviously they're doing it.
Yes. Yeah, they were doing it. And like wrestling in the 80s and 90s, it was just like not really regulated.
Okay, I believe that too.
And so there was way more steroid use.
I believe it. Yeah.
Because also these guys, they had a certain facade and persona they were trying to give off, especially if they weren't like super tall. And Chris Benoit was like maybe like 5'10".
Sure. Yeah, he's an enormous guy.
He's not like a 6'3", 6'2", whatever dude.
Sure. Yes.
So they're trying to like really, really build themselves up like horizontally, essentially.
Right.
Like build up their chest, build up their biceps, like just look like these big fucking monsters. Because they were tall.
Yeah, because it's such like a dancer sport. It's like a gymnast sport.
Mm-hmm.
And those are small people that do those. Male
small
and
height wise, is that you mean?
Yes, they're just kind of more petite. So you've got these like petite people doing this very like active, like pyrotechnic type of like that's not the right calisthenics. That's what I'm thinking.
Calisthenics.
Yes. That type of like exercise.
Mm-hmm.
And they're performing. Yeah. And so then they also have to be domineering and enormous.
Yeah. And they have to do it 300 days a year.
A basketball player is not going to do flips. You know what I'm saying? If you're really that tall, it's like
they're
your body type is
diving off of fucking ropes into like with their forehead, essentially.
Very complicated.
Yeah. It's a weird industry.
Mm-hmm. fascinating.
It's very fascinating. There's so many stories like this. Not this one specifically, but there's just so many like dark sides of wrestling where I feel like you can make a podcast just specifically of this shit.
Oh, wow.
To give you some insight, Vince McMahon, who is
Yep.
the owner of the WWE.
WWE.
And I think also he owns WCW now.
Yeah, I think they were
both.
separate at some point.
They were separate at some point. There was a rivalry, and he bought both.
Yes. And it was all, like, it was all done on the stage of wrestling.
Yes. Yes.
They played it out.
A lot of drama.
A lot of business talk made it into the weekly
So Vince
show.
McMahon has a 6-part series on Behind the Bastards.
A 6-part?
Harvey Weinstein has 3.
Wow.
Just to give you how much insight of how much a piece of shit Vince McMahon is. I've listened to most of it. It's a lot.
Wow.
Vince McMahon's a piece of shit.
Oh.
He's ruined multiple lives within like wrestling community specifically.
Oh, no.
And so just to give you an idea of like how dark wrestling world can be, like that's how many fucking episodes the owner.
Dude, he was like the owner, and then he is such an egomaniac that he was like, no, now I be the wrestler.
Oh, he always wanted to be. He always wanted to be a wrestler.
With them and just becoming a villain. It was It's really.
It's truly insane.
It's fake, but it's also like a little too real.
Yeah. Chris Benoit also got married during this time with his stint with the WCW, the ECW, and the NJPW, where he married his first wife, Martina, and they had 2 kids together named David and Megan.
Okay.
But that marriage fell apart when Chris became involved with a woman who eventually became his second wife, Nancy Sullivan.
All right. Nancy's into the picture.
Yes. So, born Nancy Elizabeth Tofolini. She was born in Boston on May 17th, 1964. Her family would eventually relocate to Florida, which Florida is a big area for wrestling.
I believe that, yes.
So Florida and Connecticut.
Well, my parents are from Florida.
Oh. And so it's all coming together now.
Yeah.
So in Florida, Nancy was also a big fan of wrestling. And she began kind of becoming involved in the wrestling world. She started modeling and also started selling wrestling event programs.
Okay.
At local wrestling shows.
Like a fan.
Yeah, she became like a little like
scene.
Yeah, she was in the scene. She's trying to get herself in as like a teenager, like 16. No, not groupie.
Oh, okay.
No, Nancy was never like a groupie.
Oh,
so it's okay. she became a valet. So a valet in wrestling is like a female specific manager of wrestlers. So it's like they're like a right hand man essentially. Like they come out with the whatever male counterpart they have.
Okay.
It's like their better half.
Okay.
Yeah. So before she became that, but she joined Kevin Sullivan's crew and she became Fallen Angel was her persona that she took on. And so she became Fallen Angel specifically because Kevin's wrestling group had the persona of being a group of Satanists.
Whoa.
As like the wrestling, like I think it's called like K-Flay.
Okay.
And like Satanism is like kind of like a big thing in this era, right? It's like early 90s. Fallen Angel became a really good persona. So eventually Nancy and Kevin formed a romantic relationship, even though Nancy was already married to her high school sweetheart, a guy named Jim Doss. So Nancy and Jim got divorced in 1985, and she and Kevin became a couple, and they eventually got married in 1992.
Okay.
So kind of the same time as Chris is like coming up, Nancy's coming up like in different kind of realms, right? Sure. So Nancy is a very successful valet, which is a female wrestling manager, like I explained earlier. And sometimes like the female valets were, I don't know why I call it female valet. Valet is just literally just called a female manager in wrestling.
Wow, there really is a lot of terminology.
I don't really know if I love that.
Culty vibes.
It's not even,
or like corporation. You know, like when you work for a company and there's just a bunch of weird
jargon. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So as a valet, she was the mouthpiece for wrestlers when they're in the ring. So she kind of be like on the outside, like kind of like building up the crowd, getting them like into the moment, and really selling the story.
Oh.
And she was really, really good at that. She really like sold it.
I'm not familiar.
Yeah, that's kind of what the ballet did.
Okay.
So Nancy and Kevin started working at the ECW, the WCW, and other independent wrestling circuits throughout the 90s. And then Nancy eventually started going as the ballet name of Woman. Is that Falling Angel?
Okay.
I don't love Woman.
I mean, it's different.
It's early 90s, I guess. It's all, I don't know.
Woman. Okay.
Just Woman. Yeah. So while giving off the appearance of being happily married, Nancy and Kevin eventually began to have a more volatile relationship that included domestic abuse claims coming from the both of them.
Okay. No, still.
So there's
fine.
Yeah, there's multiple stories coming from both sides about like them being abusive towards the other.
Okay, not a good relationship.
Not a good relationship. Because Nancy, like, full on was a badass.
Sure. Okay.
She could fucking throw her.
She's in a bad situation.
Yeah, she could hold her own. Yeah.
Ugh, not a good situation.
No, so it's like not saying that like that's a good thing, but you know, she was definitely not one to take any bullshit.
Right.
So even though Kevin and Nancy were drifting apart during this era, they kind of continued to work together because they were trying to keep up the storyline that she was his valet, they were married in real life, and they had kind of started working in the WCW almost exclusively, which the WCW is what was then the WWF, which is now the WWE, like counterpart. Yeah. Does that make sense?
No, I'm confused.
So WCW, WWF.
Yes.
Early 90s.
Rivals.
Yes. 2000s. Like early 2000s rivals. The WWF eventually became the WWE.
Right, okay. Yeah.
Because there's also the World Wildlife Foundation.
Is that why it had to change?
Because they went by WWF.
I don't think that was ever made known.
And there was a lawsuit, World Wildlife Foundation won. They're like, this is our name.
I it just changed at one point, but I don't think that
That is what I understood, and that's what like I've heard in a couple other podcasts I've listened to about this shit specifically.
I'm just like trying to remember back to when I was a kid and like, you know, when it happened, and I'm just like, I don't think that was addressed.
Probably not.
I wish that my dad was doing this episode with you.
Right.
Yeah, he would be annoying now.
He would be annoying.
He would be annoyed also.
Probably. He'd be like, you have no fucking idea what you're talking about. They'd be like, sir, I know. Can you just fucking deal with me? Please. I am doing my goddamn best. My algorithm is fucked for years because I've watched so much wrestling YouTube.
Oh, that's the worst.
Anyways. So, back to what I was saying. So, Kevin and Nancy, part of the WCW. The WCW storyline that Kevin and Nancy and Chris were in is a big part of this whole story in general.
Okay.
So this is kind of why I included all of this build-up to this storyline, because I feel like you just need a lot of like context of like how they came up in wrestling world specifically.
Okay.
So in 1986, Kevin and Nancy Sullivan and Chris Benoit were all working within the WCW.
Okay.
During this time, Chris was in a wrestling group called the Four Horsemen. That's just what they were.
Okay.
I'm not going to go any further.
Sure.
Because I can't. My brain can't do it.
No one's asked you to.
Okay, good. And he was kind of an up-and-coming star of the WCW.
Okay.
And Sullivan decided that he wanted to create a feud storyline involving Chris himself and his wife Nancy.
It's theater. It's drama.
Because it's drama, darling. So,
Were they dating?
No.
Him and Nancy?
No.
They weren't dating?
No.
Oh, so this is a manufactured...
Yeah, so Kevin and his wife Nancy are married. Chris is in there. He's like, hey, let's create a storyline between all of us.
Okay.
Like a love triangle, essentially.
Wow, so it was his idea. I wonder if it was secretly Nancy's idea.
Maybe. Kevin decided that since Nancy was also a valet for the Four Horsemen, so the group that Chris was a part of, it'd be a good idea if they create a fake storyline that Chris has stolen Nancy away from Kevin.
It's an interesting choice to do with your actual marriage.
Where it's disintegrating.
Very interesting choices
Yes.
being made.
Yes.
Okay.
It
The lines
really-
are blurry.
It really shows how committed they are to wrestling
Yeah.
and how much they wanted to create like a drama and a storyline, because they're like, let's just
We can
make
separate personal from business.
Yeah, let's just like make this a thing because I think it'd be good, even though like this might put a further strain on my actual relationship.
Yeah, they're in it really deep.
Yeah, they're
Do
in
they
it
get paid
so
more
deep.
money? Do you have any idea?
Not at this point.
Like,
So-
it's just for the. Do they have to come up with their own storylines, or
No,
also writing?
no. It's like they're also coming up with their own
So if you
storyline.
don't have drama, you're not going to be featured.
Yes. Yeah. So Kevin specifically came up with the storyline.
All right, Kevin
Sullivan. So this includes videos of Chris and Nancy cozying up and like drinking wine together, where Chris would say like mocking things. He's like, it's like, I won your queen in chess type of weird shit. That's really corny.
Sure.
And they would air this during WCW productions, where they would like have Kevin watching it and like giving a reaction, right? He's like, oh my God.
Jerry Springer type.
Jerry Springer-esque drama. And Kevin really wanted to sell the storyline specifically, so he asked Chris and Nancy to travel together to wrestling events and like go out to dinner together and like hang out together outside of wrestling.
Interesting.
Drama specifically,
So
this manufactured stuff. So it's believable. Because at this point, it wasn't like publicly known that wrestling wasn't real.
Yes. That's what I was saying earlier. I was like, you are blowing the lid off of this.
I'm not anymore. If this was like 20 years ago, yes, I would be.
No, I know. I'm just saying that I think that there are still some people in their 60s who
They need to grow up.
Who might not believe that it's fake, but like don't fully know all of the things that we know about. But what is essentially like reality TV?
Yeah, for sure. So, but at this point, he was trying to sell this storyline.
All right, cutting edge,
because he knew that like people thought this was real.
When was this now? What year?
This was
still in the 90s?
No, this is like late 90s, early 2000s.
Okay, I'm like,
it's 97. It's 97.
Okay, that's still kind of ahead of its time.
Yeah.
Wow.
So, Chris Benoit was initially opposed to selling the storyline that hard because he had a wife at home who had just given birth to his baby girl, Megan. He's like, I don't really want to like do this.
Like, why is this necessary?
Like, why is this necessary?
Yes.
But he was also very committed to wrestling and the wrestling world.
Okay.
And even though him and his wife were on the rocks at this time, he eventually agreed to help sell the storyline by doing the travel and the restaurants and stuff together. So, in a shock to no one, Chris and Nancy eventually had an affair.
Jesus.
In real life. Which is not great. Yeah. I mean, what did you think was going to happen?
I don't know. It's just like a mess.
It's messy. It's messy.
So
but like,
messy.
I mean, what reality TV show isn't messy?
I know. I just feel bad for life.
Yeah, it is very sad. I do feel bad for her too. So in 1997, Chris and Nancy divorced their current partners. So Nancy divorced Kevin, Chris divorced Martina, and they started dating in real life. So in that same year, Kevin had a retirement match against Chris, where there was kind of some blurred lines because they basically eventually kind of almost were like beating each other up because of this behind the scenes drama, right?
So there's actual beef now?
There's a little bit of beef, but Kevin was pretty professional throughout the entirety of this. I mean, what else are you supposed to do? Like, this was your idea.
You set it up.
Like, you kind of set this up.
Wild.
Like,
but
listen,
sure.
Yeah.
Maybe you're like a dingus and you didn't expect this to happen, and now you're like kind of pissed about it, and maybe you have reason to be.
Yeah, right.
But you're a dingus and you really should have seen it coming.
Yeah. So, Kevin had a retirement match in 1997 against Chris, specifically.
Okay, and now I have a question about retirement matches.
Yes.
Is this a real retirement? It's like a Jay-Z type of retirement?
A real one for him
this
specifically.
Is his last fight?
From what I've found,
Or
this was his last in-ring wrestling match.
Wow, okay.
And he it was planned that he would lose,
Okay.
kind of handing the torch off to Chris.
All for the
which is
the theater.
all for the story.
Dude.
Which is another like factor of like how much they commit to this fucking storyline and how much they
to the
commit.
detriment of their own pride and personal lives.
But so building up to this, like, it's not even like that, personal lives and pride, it's their bodies that they're sacrificing.
Oh, for sure.
To the sport, to steroids, to painkillers, to like battle the pain that they're.
They got into the steroids too much.
No, I mean, there's not much to say besides like all fucking wrestlers at this time were using steroids to like build up and like get muscle mass, and like I don't really. That's kind of it, honestly. I feel like the steroids become a part of it later.
Okay.
But I mean, at this point, everyone's doing steroids.
Yeah.
Like everyone talks about like how much scar tissue is in everyone's asses.
Really?
Because they're all just getting injected constantly.
Whoa.
With steroids.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I feel like it's aggressive.
The what? In the butt?
I'm like trying to imagine how you would give yourself an injection that would give you scar tissue unless you're not like slim.
What, you're constantly doing it.
How many, like multiple times a day or just every day?
I think just every day.
I don't know. I just think people do.
Like you do it, you're constantly like building muscle and like trying to like, you know.
Sure, you don't have a lot of fat.
You don't have a lot of fat there. Yeah. Yeah.
It's like.
Yeah. So, I mean, like steroids are just like a kind of a common thing within wrestling at this time, for sure.
Okay.
And also painkillers because they're constantly like wrecking their bodies.
Themselves up.
Yeah. For like
daily. 300 times a year.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
It's not right.
It's not right. Which is another reason why Vince McMahon is a piece of shit.
Damn.
So, in the 1997 match, Nancy also retired her careers of LA and began focusing on actually managing Chris's wrestling career.
Okay.
So she became like a real life, not like a real life, but like a businesswoman in the sense that she was actively managing Chris Benoit's career.
All right.
She like took the skills and the experience she learned in the industry. She's like, I'm gonna take this. I'm gonna become my own like girl boss.
No, that makes total sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, it sounds like she would be equipped.
Yeah, she knows the industry in and out.
100%.
Yeah, for sure. So his WWE career is kind of the peak of Chris Benoit.
Okay.
Wrestling wise. For sure. So in the year 2000, Chris and Nancy have a son together. His name is Daniel, and they also get married. Same year. Chris starts wrestling for the WWE and Vince McMahon. So this seems to be where things are kind of like launching for Chris, right? I mean, this is probably, if you didn't know anything about the wrestling world, this is probably where you'd be like, oh, this guy made it.
Sure.
Because you don't know about the ECW, you know, other realms of wrestling. Right. You don't know this guy's been working for this since the 80s. This is like, okay, this is like, he's made it.
He's still pretty young, though.
2000s, he was born 1985. No, 1967. Oh, so 1985 was when he started wrestling at 18.
I was just like in his 40s.
Almost.
Oh, dude, honestly, Gillespie didn't look too bad for a steroid out guy in his 40s.
Right. So Chris is constantly no days off, seriously. So Chris is constantly getting storylines and big matches during this time, during the early 2000s, including a pay-per-view match against The Rock.
Okay.
Which everyone knows who The Rock is now.
If you smell
the eyebrow. I wish I could do the eyebrow.
It was the one.
Like the one, like, boop, you know, the arch.
Just the one.
Just the one, like, excuse me, eyebrow. More. The youths don't know about the eyebrow. So during this time, Chris also wins WrestleMania 20 in 2004.
2004, okay.
He wins this to a sold-out crowd at the Madison Square Garden.
That's a big crowd.
That's a big crowd. It's also a pay-per-view event.
Yeah.
Winning the world. That's like, before I go into this, like that's the pay-per-view events for wrestling is what I always remember when it comes to wrestling. Like there was always a pay-per-view.
Yeah.
For wrestling. So this is when he wins WrestleMania. And WrestleMania is kind of, so there's Royal Rumble, there's SummerSlam, and there's WrestleMania.
Okay.
WrestleMania is like kind of it feels like the Oscars.
Okay.
Because
Super Bowl.
Yeah, I feel like the Oscars is a better metaphor because they're working towards a storyline throughout the year and they're building up to this, right? They're like trying to like write some character arc specifically that's like very enticing to the crowd, and they're working towards this, and like WrestleMania is kind of like, you did it thing, like here's your Oscar essentially.
Okay, love it.
So in 2004 Chris won that, and this is also kind of a big deal because he had been recovering from like over a year-long break from neck surgery in 2001. So we did take a break in 2001. During this night, during WrestleMania 20, Chris's best friend, Eddie Guerrero, also won his title match during this. And so it was pretty much a like peak night for both of these guys.
Right? Oh, yeah.
They're hugging in the ring. There's fucking confetti. They both have their belts. It's a big fucking deal. It's a good night. Yeah. So despite the major success as a professional wrestler that Chris was having during this time, there was also a lot of pressure building up between Chris and Nancy at home. So I listened to a Chris Jericho podcast, who is another wrestler. I don't know if you've heard of him. So Chris Jericho has a podcast called, I think it's called Talk with Jericho, where he interviews Nancy's sister. And she was very close to Chris and Nancy. And she talked specifically about this time where it just felt like there was a lot of pressure on Chris and like a lot of pressure building up, because Chris was she also described him as a really intense person because he cared a lot about wrestling. So he was very intense about his workout regimen. He was really intense about his food and his diet. He was intense about just everything involving wrestling.
I wonder if he felt like, I'm here at this level and I can't blow it.
Yeah.
I have to like maintain or keep pushing.
Right. For sure. Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah. Especially like after the surgery, after his neck surgery too.
Oh, because he'd been gone for a year.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. A lot to prove. I bet it was scary too, like a neck surgery.
Yeah.
To go back to I mean, that's wild.
Yeah. To like have to recover for a year and then like go back to like
doing the same shit.
Yeah.
It's scary.
It's very scary.
Yeah.
But like this is all he had ever known. He'd been doing this since he was a teenager.
Yeah, you feel like, well, I can't do anything else.
Yeah. Yeah.
Were they wealthy at this point?
So this is the point where Chris starts making a lot of money. Okay. I think his like contract is $400,000 a year. That's not including merchandising.
And this is
from his like merchandising he makes.
Okay, so
and also like bonuses he gets from like winning matches and stuff. Yeah, there's incentives with this $400,000. That's like his base pay essentially for a year.
But it's a lot. I mean, it's 20 years.
Yeah,
and a neck surgery.
Yeah, and like steroids the entire time.
Yeah.
Okay. So despite Chris's major success as a professional wrestler during this time, like I said, there's pressure building up at home. So in 2003, Nancy had actually filed for divorce from Chris. And she filed for also a protective order, stating that they had been in a heated argument.
Okay.
He had like shoved her hard. And she was like, fuck no.
And she's been through this before.
And so she's like, I'm not doing this. So she leaves for 2 months.
Whoa, 2 months is a long time.
Yeah, so she files this order, she files for divorce. You know, it's a whole thing.
Oh my god, she must have been really pretty scared.
Yeah, and she did say that to a couple people specifically. She's like, I don't want to do this.
I mean, we're only hearing about one instance right now, but like, for her to left was pretty scary.
Yeah. So there was also another argument that had happened during this time where Chris had been drinking and left and had actually gotten a DUI. So Nancy also began expressing a lot of concern about Chris's steroid use, because he had been using at least for 15 years at this point, steroids, to like build himself up and like keep himself maintained. And he also continued using throughout his like year-long recovery.
Oh, sure. He wanted to like, because she thought it would help him heal.
She was worried because she asked him, she's like, why are you continuing to do this? He was like, I'm worried I'm gonna lose my mass, essentially.
Oh my god.
Yeah. So she saw that as like kind of a red flag.
Sure.
So she was concerned with the steroid use and the pain pill addiction that he also had, because doing this type of stuff to your body for that long, like, you're gonna have chronic pain.
Yeah.
And he was doing all this because he had the immense pressure to stay big and to stay like kind of consistent with his like shows. And so she was really worried about all of this. She expressed this a lot.
Okay.
However, when it came time to file for divorce, actually, Nancy and Chris decided to work things out with the help of other wrestlers within like their like friend group, because wrestling is also like a very big community based group. And I think for Nancy also being in wrestling, they had like just had like this kind of foundation of like wrestlers that,
sure,
you know,
that was their orbit.
Yeah, that was in their orbit.
Friends there.
Yeah. Okay. So they decided they want to try to work things out.
Okay.
Nancy drops the divorce, and she also drops the protective order in August of 2003.
Okay.
So in November of 2005, Eddie Guerrero, Chris's best friend, dies in a hotel room due to acute heart failure.
Oh no.
He was 38 years old.
38.
Yeah. So it is believed that the heart failure was due to past steroid use and the prescription pill use that most of these wrestlers have like gone through, and also using alcohol.
Yeah, it's like a hard life.
It's a very, very hard life on their bodies. And so Eddie specifically also had some sort of substance abuse that he went through, and like he actually at some point was kind of kicked out of WCW, worked his way back into WCW, and that's when he won his title.
Okay.
Which is really sad that he eventually succumbed to all of this. So it's said that when Chris found out about Eddie's death, he was absolutely inconsolable. Oh no. Because it was his best friend. Yeah. And even though like Eddie was described as, or not Eddie, Chris was described as like a very stoic, kind of few words type of person a lot from like other wrestlers, he's also like really kind of clung to his tribe essentially. Sure. And Eddie was like a big part of his tribe. During this time, like Nancy was trying to figure out the best way to help Chris cope with Eddie's death. She gave Chris a journal, and she was like, you know, like write down your feelings, write down whatever you want. And like a lot of it was like kind of very like blase normal stuff, like I went to the gym today, I ate this today, and like kind of like a like a workout journal almost. But there's also a lot of letters he kind of wrote essentially to Eddie. Wow. Like he was talking to Eddie in the journal, and like just like writing to him how much he missed him, and like, you know, like how much he wished he was still around, yada yada yada.
So rough. Yeah.
And there's some parts of that will maybe come later in the story. Well, I'll tell you now. So subsist. I was like, why am I waiting? So when they find this journals that Chris had, he specifically at one entry told Eddie that he will see him soon.
Okay.
In 2005.
All right. So we're maybe a little.
Yeah. So it was also during this time that there were so many other wrestlers within their community, specifically Nancy and Chris's, that they started dying, including a lot that were in their late 30s, early 40s.
Damn.
From like heart failure and like all the stuff that was probably kind of because of steroid use long term.
Yeah, or like all the things they were doing.
Yeah, just like a hard life.
Yeah.
So they basically like how all these people around them dropping like flies.
And not to mention they were probably using the same dealers.
Yeah. It wasn't even dealers, it was doctors. It was
dealers and doctors.
It was WCW specific.
Oh, your pain meds. All right, so
doctors.
All the doctors. Okay, yeah. Sure, yeah. Maybe just overprescribing.
There was a whole section of this I had to take out about the doctors because it just was going to get too long and too convoluted. So I would have kept it, but it's just like there was too much, honestly. Wow. This is like about like the shit that they would give these wrestlers to essentially keep them running. You know, not like necessarily for health. It was just like, you just got to keep going. Take this, keep going. This case specifically brought a lot of that to light. So while all of these really close friends to Chris and Nancy were dying, these were also kind of the friends that would help tamper their fights. Like, they would call, be like, whoever, be like, you know, kind of bitch, and they'd be like, okay, like, let's just chat, like, and they would like joke with them and like get them kind of like in a better mood. So like when they got off the phone, they were in a better mood, right? And without even like really trying, they were losing their support system as a couple.
Sure.
Which was like a major factor within the story,
Right.
Unfortunately. So during all of this loss, Chris continued to work and wrestle. I think it was like the day after Eddie died, he had a wrestling match in like Europe he had to go to. He just like went to instead of like, I'm not doing this, which speaks to like, it just speaks to the commitment these guys have. So instead of taking a break from the road, Chris just continued to work, which is probably, I mean, for anyone, it's not a good sign, right? So, and then like during this time, Nancy's sister in the Chris Jericho podcast, she said it felt like there was just like this immense pressure building up within Chris. She just like kind of like described this like a pressure cooker almost. Like there was the dieting, there was the deaths, there was the wrestling matches. Chris was also getting up there in age. And there was just all this weight building up on Chris specifically. So in 2006, Chris finally started to take a sabbatical and let his body and his soul essentially heal from like everything he had like been through in the last year. However, after and during the sabbatical, Chris started to express some paranoia and seemed to think that he was constantly being followed.
Interesting.
Yeah. So with this, he started taking different routes to the gym. So he had a home gym, but he like had this routine where he would go to a different gym, like off-site. Yeah. And he would take different routes. And then like Nancy's sister Sandra talked about like how he would always want to take her car because it would like be like workout buddies. Like, oh, let's take your car instead of taking mine. Because he was like, he never said to her directly, but she was like, it felt like he was like worried that someone's going to follow his car specifically. So he's like, let's take yours.
Wow. Okay. It seems like a change. Like,
yeah.
Okay.
He would also at this time check his alarm system frequently. He was kind of like paranoid about that. He also wouldn't let Daniel, his son, play outside by himself. And he told Nancy she couldn't leave the house or go outside after 6 p.m.
Oh my God, so much anxiety.
Yeah, he was just freaked out and worried. And no one seemed to understand, like, why? Right. Like, he never really expressed, because he was, like, a person, like, known for few words. He would never really be like, this, I'm so freaked out about this. It was just like,
these are the rules.
But we can't do this.
Okay. Yeah, that's scary. Yeah. Everybody.
Yeah. And so the family, even at this time, moved houses and ended up in Fayetteville.
Okay.
And also got 2 large German Shepherds as guard dogs. Like I said, Chris was also at the end of his in-ring wrestling career, since he had just reached his 40th birthday at this time.
Oh, okay.
Which is
imagine that.
Insane.
Imagine how many careers that you don't make. I mean, that is probably worth a couple $1 million.
Yeah.
All right, fine. Never mind.
I mean, he's a popular wrestler, but like having
done at 40,
thinking you've like peaked in the career you've built since you were a teenager.
And you've got literally like more than half of your life, or about half of your life. Yeah, you've committed like to live.
Yeah.
You're only 40.
Mm-hmm.
Sure.
Also, you committed your entire life to this. You've lost a marriage,
and then you're just done. And now you're only 40.
You're 40. He was beginning to kind of feel the wear and tear on his body at 40. Mm-hmm. And this also encouraged more pain management with pain pills, and also a little bit more steroid use because he was still trying to keep up.
Sure.
Right.
He's still working, right? He's not retired.
And yeah, he's not retired. There was also, because he had been using steroids for so long, he needed to have like a therapeutic maintenance level of testosterone injected into his system because he had like kind of fucked up his own hormone.
Sure.
At this point. And so just like kind of keep himself at a baseline, he had to like inject testosterone into him.
I know these doctors are, I'm sure. He's got a doctor.
Yeah. Yeah. It's a therapeutic.
Whoa.
I don't know. What's the word? Therapy, I guess.
Sure.
Coming from a doctor. Homotherapy from a
hormone
WC.
therapy.
Hormone.
You've said a lot of words tonight.
It is.
She means hormone therapy.
Yes.
Not homotherapy.
Not homo, please. Jesus. A therapeutic hormone therapy. So he was having that happening to him at this time too, because he had been taking steroids for so long that like essentially fucked his entire.
I believe it. I believe it. Listen, like, we just being a woman in 2024, we hear a lot about our hormones. And like, I think you could just live your normal life and still need hormone therapy, let alone all of this.
Someone who's like dealt with birth control.
Yeah, exactly.
Like we kind of get it. Which, you know. So even though Chris was worried about the next steps, Nancy, being this kind of savvy businesswoman and like managing Chris this entire time, she was starting a new plan by establishing a wrestling school with the Chris Benoit name behind it.
So she's like, we got a retirement plan.
Yeah, she's like, I got this. We're going forward with this plan. She had like t-shirts printed. This is all coming from her sister on the Jericho
credibility
podcast. Yeah, and like, I mean, yeah, there's absolutely no reason why he couldn't like make this also successful.
When you think about like The Rock transitioning not too long out of it, I mean, it must have been like, this is messy. There's more, and like, for me,
even like John Cena.
Exactly.
Yeah,
where they're just like,
you're like, I gotta get out of this.
I can't do this forever.
Business. Yeah, like it's just like hard on your body. I can't imagine.
So this is a bummer.
Yeah. So in 2007, Chris was moved from the WWE to the ECW, which some in the wrestling world would consider a demotion.
Okay.
Since the ECW was not as well known as or watched as compared to WWE.
Okay.
So Chris was also kind of pushed into a mentorship role in the ring with younger and upcoming wrestlers to help them build their careers up.
Okay.
Which,
listen, this is his wife's plan.
Yeah.
You should maybe start getting used to it.
Right. And like, but
this is fine.
Yeah.
This is okay.
Right.
Getting into it.
Yes. I mean, like at that point, like you would think he would only be like, I'm just fucking tired.
Yeah.
Like,
interesting.
You know,
some ego situation at play here.
For sure.
We are not talking about, but definitely plays a role.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, all of these wrestlers have to like have the confidence and the ego to sell their product, right?
Yeah.
They are their product.
I just think it makes you human.
Yeah.
Like,
for sure.
I'm not even criticizing.
Yeah.
But like, certainly it plays a part.
Yeah, absolutely. Some people just like don't want to gracefully bow out because you just don't want to admit. Yeah. All right. Well, okay. This is where it gets bad. So maybe the wine pour was good. So on the weekend of June 24th, Chris was set to show up and win a championship match against CM Punk.
I don't know who that is.
It's not becoming a wrestler.
Oh.
But he did not show.
He did not show.
So, Chris was always considered a very stoic and professional wrestler, and him not showing up for a match just really kind of freaked everybody out.
Okay. That's not normal, yeah.
But no one expected what happened during this weekend and what Chris did.
Oh, okay.
So, this is a trigger warning for everybody. This is where things get rough. If you don't want to listen, you don't have to. I am not going to force these headphones on your head. This is a familicide, I guess is the way you call it. The family annihilator.
This is whole family.
Family
annihilator.
Family annihilator.
Yeah, that's what I know of the story.
This is a family annihilator story. So this is where shit gets hard. Just if you don't want to listen, you don't have to.
Okay, go on.
All right. So Friday, June 22nd, 2007. Chris murders Nancy in the office of their home. No one really knows what caused him to do this. There's no one to kind of talk about what happened in that room. Because this is a family annihilator
and a murder-suicide.
Murder-suicide. So he bound Nancy's hands with TV cables and duct taped her feet together.
Oh fuck! No, this just seems like an intentional. This isn't like a plan.
Which I'm telling you this for a specific reason.
It's giving like I planned this.
So after he bound her hands and feet, he put his knee on her back and then strangled her with a cord. He then wrapped her body in a blanket and set a Bible next to her. The Bible, no one really knows what the whole deal with that is because they were not religious.
Okay.
In any sense.
What does he could put anything next to her at that point? What does it matter?
For sure. So
I'm just curious though.
Yeah. It's a weird detail, I guess. It's just like, why?
Yeah, but I don't know. It sounds like he was planning this.
Yes.
He did it and was like, this is whatever ceremonial thing I'm gonna do.
So Sandra in the Jericho podcast, she talked about like how they were trying to get Daniel into like a private school, which most private schools are religiously affiliated within the States. And she was thinking like maybe because they had gone to church for like a little bit recently to like give face for this private school, they were trying to get Daniel in, that like maybe she talked about like how Chris was really into like all religions and he just liked the idea of like talking about theology is like a study.
Yeah.
And so she was like, I was really close to Chris and we talked about like religion and theology in general. She's like, I have no idea what the hell that was.
Wow.
Yeah. So truly no one knows. I feel with that. So the next day on June 23rd, 2007, Chris gave his 7-year-old son Daniel a heavy dose of Xanax.
The next day. Okay.
Enough that he was unconscious. He then suffocated Daniel in his bedroom and also left a Bible next to his body.
Okay.
So, on the same day, June 23rd, 2007, at 3:30 p.m., he called Chavo Guerrero, which is Eddie Guerrero's nephew.
Okay.
He called him and left a voicemail saying that he was going to be late to their match that evening because Nancy and Daniel had food poisoning. Which is not true, obviously. Mm-hmm. So Chavo tried calling Chris back because he thought that Chris sounded just weird. What the fuck is going on with you, bro? But he didn't pick up. And then at 3:44 p.m., Chris called back and said that he was just tired because Nancy and Daniel were really sick and he was trying to find a later flight to get out for their match. Which just speaks to the commitment these guys have, I think. I mean, almost kind of sickening at that point. So Chavo at this point remembers Chris telling him that he loved him. And he remembers when he got off the phone, he said there was something about this that made me really uneasy.
He could just tell.
He could just tell. This is also from a different episode of the Jericho podcast. He talked to him.
Okay.
After Chavo gets off the phone with Chris, where he says that he loved him, he's like, this is weird. I don't know why. I feel really uneasy. He calls Chris back.
Okay.
He's like, are you okay? He's like, what the fuck is going on with you?
Yeah.
And he said that he had just had a stressful day with Nancy and Daniel being sick with food poisoning. And then Chavo replies with, okay, if you need anything, please just let me know.
Yeah, I mean,
I'll pick you up from the airport tomorrow. Because he said that he had like rescheduled his flight. because he was supposed to fly into Houston.
Got it. Okay.
For a wrestling match on June 24th, around 3 a.m. Chavo and a wrestling referee received 5 text messages from Chris and Nancy's phones. The first 4 texts say the address of Nancy and Chris's home. Just that. Like, my address is blank. It's online. I didn't really feel like saying it because I don't know if anyone lives there now or what's going on there.
Oh, sure.
Yeah. And the last text said that the dogs were in the pool area, locked away.
Such a odd.
Yeah. And that the side garage door was unlocked. Jesus. So Chavo, we like woke up and like read these text messages. He thought this was weird, but then he's like, okay, I'm picking Chris up in like 5 hours from the airport. So I'm just gonna ask him when I pick him up at the airport, like, what the fuck is going on?
Sure.
He's like, yeah. He's like, I don't know. I have no idea what's happening.
He's acting weird.
He's acting weird, but like we're gonna talk about when he gets here in person. Maybe he wants to talk about it in person. That's why he doesn't say anything. You're not thinking the worst. Absolutely. So later that morning, Chris called WWE, like their offices, because WWE at this time also is part of ECW. They're like, he like owns, not he, they own ECW. He calls them and said that he was going to have to take a later flight for his match that evening, since his wife and son were now in the hospital with food poisoning.
Okay.
And he specifically said that like Nancy had it really bad. His son Daniel wasn't as bad, but they were both still like just like really sick. So later that day, Chris did not show up for his match. So his match specifically was like some sort of title weight match against. Okay. So, and he was actually scheduled to win against CM Punk.
I can't believe that they were like, no, there will be a winner and a loser.
That's what they do. So sometime after he made that call to the WWE agency saying he was going to make it to his match, Chris goes downstairs to his home gym and he makes a noose with a cord from a lateral weight machine.
Okay.
Can you imagine what I'm talking about? Like like you hold the bar and you pull down. The lat pull down machine. So he makes a noose with that cord.
Sure. If I was going to hang myself in my gym, I would have probably used the same.
Jesus Christ. I don't know. It's just like a very morbid, dark
But if
thought.
you're going to do it, which I assume is what happens.
Yes.
A noose.
Yeah.
I would have used the same machine.
So after doing that, he adds as much weight as he can to this machine.
Oh
so he adds like
I wouldn't have
dumbbells.
Okay, maybe.
But like no one else could have done this because Chris Benoit was so fucking intensely in shape and buff. No one else could have added this weight to this machine and pulled it down.
Whoa. He was like, this is my last hurrah.
Yeah. It's also it feels very symbolic that he decides to use a weight machine to kill himself. After all of this bullshit he's been through.
How many times he's used that?
After how many times he's used that, yeah.
Jesus.
So he wraps Chalo around his neck, and then wraps the cord from the lat machine also around his neck. I'm sorry.
Like the picture that you're painting.
And then he lets the weight drop, and he dies by strangulation, which is how he kills himself.
Okay.
So Sandra, in the Jericho podcast,
his wife's sister.
Yes, Nancy's sister. She says that they found like Google searches from that weekend, like basically him Googling how the quickest way to break a neck.
Okay, because it does seem like he's looking to.
Yeah, and it quickly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, so at this point, Nancy, Daniel, and Chris are all deceased on Sunday. On June 25th, the body of the families were discovered after Chris didn't show up to his match, and then also the text that he sent to Chavo and the wrestling referee were kind of like they kind of like aligned and put it together. They're like, oh fuck, this has become a thing. And there's a whole plethora of voicemails throughout the weekend. And it's really tragic because everyone's like, hey, because the picture was calling Nancy, they're calling Chris.
No.
They're like, can you call me?
You heard the voicemails of people looking for him?
Yeah, a lot of them, because everyone's like, hey, where the fuck are you guys?
Yeah.
Like, hey, I hope you guys are okay. Like, I heard this type of situation.
It's heartbreaking.
Yeah. So, initially, it was just like, oh, Chris and his family were found deceased in the house. And it wasn't assessed until like a couple days later that Chris was the one that actually had done this. There was a memorial, like, televised event for Chris.
In between? Like immediately?
Yeah, immediately.
Okay.
Because, fun fact, Vince McMahon's character, his, like, wrestling character, was supposed to be having a funeral. Even though he was dead.
Okay. Yeah, it was a lot of kitschy.
Yeah, his character was supposed to be having a funeral, but instead of having the funeral, they decided to change it to the Chris Benoit Memorial.
Wow.
So there was like a 2-hour
pivot.
Yeah, it was like a 2-hour, 3-hour thing.
Oh my god.
And then like kind of praising Chris and like talking about how much of an amazing wrestler he was. There was tons of wrestlers on there just talking about like how great a person he was, how great of a wrestler he was. Because, I mean, I will say, like, everyone talks about, like, how good of a wrestler he was. He's a very good, like, technical wrestler. But no one really knew.
Jesus.
There's a rumor that goes around, I don't know if it's true, that, like, Vince McMahon found out during the middle of this televised broadcast about Chris, that he found out that Chris was the one that actually, like, had killed his family.
Oh, wow.
But, like, what are you fucking supposed to do? Cancel it?
Fly on the wall.
Right? Like, go on TV and be like, well, actually he did this, so fuck this guy. I don't know.
It's just like bad journalism.
Yes.
Yes. And it's not journalism at all over the place. So maybe take a beat.
Yeah.
You know?
Maybe just like go along with like the planned thing and just do like a memorial service later.
Yeah. Or like maybe not try to like totally exploit these people's lives immediately.
Or just don't be a piece of shit like Vince McMahon.
Yeah, well, it seems like the kind of guy who would mind exploiting the minute they found out the family had...
Like when Eddie Guerrero died, they had like a broadcast, I think the next day.
See, it's a lot.
It's like, a lot.
Take a minute.
And Chris Benoit is on that broadcast just like fucking distraught.
Oh no.
Because, you know.
But at the same time, if it's like out in the press and you're doing kind of like live
matches,
yeah, like how you have to.
I don't know.
At some point, I know it's complicated.
Yeah,
it's not my job.
Maybe just like cancel the broadcast.
Like the early 2000s, and like we talked about Chelsea lately. Like we've come a really long way.
That's very true.
So like,
and like empathy for human beings. So this broadcast happened, which was frowned upon afterwards, obviously.
Bad form.
Yeah. Since Chris was such a well-known wrestler, such a big persona within the wrestling community, the story instantly got tons of media coverage, and everyone wanted to know, how did this quiet, nice guy do this to his family? Because it's literally how everyone described him. He was just like this quiet, stoic, nice guy. Sure. Like outside the ring. So the initial thought that this was roid rage, but because Chris had killed Nancy the way that he did, roid rage didn't seem to be kind of the culprit.
Right, didn't seem like an act of passion.
Yeah.
Like very sudden.
Yeah, and so like
premeditated.
Yeah, so there's like a really poignant part of the Jericho podcast, which I don't really know a whole lot about Chris Jericho, but he has this moment where he's talking about like, it's like marriages are hard. He's like, I can kind of see how like there's a crime passion with killing your wife.
Wow, he said that?
Yeah. And he's like maybe that's like kind of what happened. He kind of spiraled, and Sandra.
He said that to the sister?
Yes. Sandra's
God.
She's like, no. She's like, he brutalized my sister, is what she said. She's like, there was a ton of blood in that room. is also what she said, which I didn't get into because I just, I'm not going to glorify that. So roid rage was kind of X'd out of the cause, even though at this time Chris had a ton of steroids in his system, according to his autopsy report. But there was also the fact that he was taking it for therapeutic purposes. I quote therapeutic because we don't really know, because of like the abuse he'd had throughout the years, and no one could really tell like if he was taking it to kind of keep his testosterone at like a baseline level, or if it was like a building your muscles, that type of thing.
Okay.
Because I mean, so like even at this point, it still just like wasn't regulated as it is now. So another predominant theory is that Chris was probably suffering from CTE, which is chronic traumatic encephalopathy.
Yeah, that's the concussion movie that Will Smith made. That's what they think happened to, what's his name, Aaron
Hernandez.
Yes, Hernandez. Yeah, and many other.
Yeah. Have you ever had a concussion?
I have had a concussion.
When did you have a concussion?
I was like 6 years old, and I was in. I actually had a conversation with my husband the other day. He has not had a concussion. I remember vividly. So I was in a family friend's house, and they had this living room, which was like a converted garage that had been turned into a living room.
Okay.
It sounds sort of ghetto, but it didn't look ghetto. But like basically it was like the subfloor was concrete and there wasn't like softer floor.
Right. And a carpet or rug.
There was carpet over it, but it was just like probably a pad and then carpet.
Okay.
And this is the problem here. So like I was with my sister is 5 years older than me, and so she was friends with this, was a friend of hers.
Okay.
And I was at their house, and she kind of lays on her back on the carpet, and she's got her feet and her arms in the air, and she puts a beanbag on her feet, and she wants me in the beanbag. So it's like her, like like upside down.
Oh, the airplane thing.
Yeah, and so she's gonna kick her feet, and in the beanbag, and I'm in the beanbag, and I'm supposed to land on my feet, but I didn't land on my feet, and then I landed on my head. And I
the little opposite of the face.
The opposite of the feet. It did not work. And I remember being in so much pain, and I remember throwing up, like uncontrollably, and everybody panicking, and I wanted to sleep very badly. And it was like a lot of like absolutely do not fall asleep.
Yeah,
vomiting out the window on the way to the hospital, and then I get to the hospital, and they have all these like. Back in this, like, I don't know, like the 90s, I was born. It was probably like 94, 95.
So you're like 7?
Yeah, I was like 6 or 7. And they had these like foam pillows that they have to probably do like a CT scan or something. And so they put you, it felt just like, I remember these oddly shaped pillows that I put my head on. It was really painful. It was just miserable.
Yeah.
And then nothing ever happened after that, because what can you do for concussion?
No.
Like, they're just like, oh, well, nothing's broken, so we don't need to do surgery or, like, drill the brain.
Right. No bleeding.
No, well, who knows?
Yeah.
My mother can't tell us about it, but
I mean, you're in your 30s.
I remember vividly. I almost also kind of remember in my concussed child brain, I feel like I remember throwing up different colors.
Oh.
And that can't really be true.
Yeah.
But I remember it like one time it was pink, and then it was blue.
Yeah, it could have been like eating Skittles,
I know, it's true. It could have been something like that.
Yeah.
But I remember eating very colorful vomit.
Oh, okay.
Interesting. It's a fun story. How about you? Have you been concussed?
Yeah, I've had a concussion. I had a concussion during a snowboarding marathon. I used to do like participate in like a race called Hope on the Slopes.
Okay.
Which is a 24-hour snowboard marathon, which you essentially snowboard for 24 hours.
I've heard of this. I've heard you doing this.
Yeah, I've done multiple times. And there was one year that it was very, very icy.
Oh.
And I was like snowboarding in the middle of the night, because you basically snowboard from 7 a.m. to 7 a.m.
Why? They don't do this anymore.
They still do. Yeah.
They do?
Yeah. Yeah, and I think it was probably like midnight, and I was snowboarding, and it was really icy, and I like hit like an edge bad, and I like slammed my head into the ice.
Forward?
Oh, and I had a bloody nose, and I got up, and like I just knew, and I was like, fuck.
Something bad happened.
Yeah, like this isn't like just me like seeing stars. I'm like, this is like something bad.
Oh gosh.
And thankfully, at least, because it was a snowboarding marathon and I had to like ride until 7 a.m. I couldn't go to sleep.
You didn't go to the medic?
I went to ski patrol, and I knew the head of ski patrol at the time. And I talked to him. I told him what I did. And like I was like getting like my face cleaned up from the blood. And I was like, yeah, I'm like, I think I have a concussion. He was like looking at my pupils. He's like, yeah, you definitely do. And he had been like a ski patrol like lead for. He's seen many concussions. He told me some pretty fucking gruesome stories.
Sure.
I used to work with him at the kitchen randomly because that's what we did as off season. Like worked in kitchens and like ski patrols over the winter, which is the life.
Kitchen gypsies.
Wait, his name was Steve, but we called him Stevo before Stevo was a thing. I think, or maybe at the same time.
It's been a thing.
He has been a thing for a while.
Stevo's doing really well.
Yeah. I think he's still alive.
Yeah, he is, and he's like, I think he's sober.
Oh, well, I was talking about like my Stevo, like the ski patrol. Because when I met him, he was well into his 50s.
Okay. Hopefully he's retired.
Yeah, I think he's retired now.
Hopefully he found a retirement.
Yeah, I should look him up. But I just remember like, hey, like I walked into like the ski patrol like area of Stevens Pass. I was like, hey, I'm like, I think I gave myself a concussion. I'm like, I told what happened. It's like, were you wearing a helmet? I was like, no. It's I don't know.
Dumbass.
Like I'm not like a fucking nerd. I don't wear helmets. You kidding me, sir?
What year was this?
This was I did it like the last time I did it, and this was the last time I did it. It was 2015, the year my dad died.
2015. It's too late to not be wearing.
Yeah, I have a helmet now. But he said like he looked at me people. So he's like, yeah, you have had a concussion. He's like, it's pretty, and he's like, I think it's mild.
This is not a doctor.
This is not a doctor. He's like, I think you're okay. He's like, clearly you have to continue snowboarding.
What the fuck?
And I was like, yeah, I know. I have to stay awake at least. He's like, yeah. He's like, okay. He's like, you stay awake, you keep snowboarding, and he's like, in a couple hours, if you feel sick.
Okay. Well, I did just say, what can you do for a concussion?
Yeah.
Nothing.
Yeah. He's like, if you feel like you want to, like, basically pass out, vomit, whatever. He's like, come find me.
Okay.
He's like, and we'll figure it out.
Okay.
I was like, okay.
I think you might be right.
And so I continued snowboarding.
Okay.
And there was a point where I felt sick, and I feel like I did throw up. I was like, yeah, it's fine. And I finished the race, and now I wear a helmet. So, clearly we have both suffered from a concussion. We know it's traumatic, and we know it's a pretty intense brain injury. So this happens to a lot of professional athletes. It's become more and more of a heavily debated topic.
Yeah, like it's not great if it happens to you once. It's really not good if it happens to you many, many, many times.
Yes.
And it probably happens to them many times.
Yes. So Chris Benoit specifically was a person that would take chairs to the back of the head, which I can't imagine doing that more than once. I can't imagine doing that once and being like, oh, that was like great television. Let's keep fucking doing this. I'd be like, you just hit me in the back of the head. Like, what the fuck am I doing?
And when you say these things, because I've seen it in my home.
I think we can all, like, it's something.
They do it hard.
Hitting someone with a chair, even if it's fucking quote unquote fake
Or like a light.
or a light hit, it doesn't look like it feels good.
No. It does not.
And like, I don't care what you say unless it's a fucking piece of foam, like a fucking pool noodle, that's going to do damage.
Yeah, it does not look like it feels good.
And Chris was known to do this, like, constantly. He was like one of the people who would like be willing to take a chair to the back of the head.
Wow.
And so it was kind of assessed that he was suffering from CTE. And there's been some, so he had an autopsy done.
I was gonna say, was it speculated or did they do an autopsy?
So they did an autopsy, and they looked at his brain, and the University of West Virginia assessed that he had the brain of like an 85-year-old dementia patient.
Really?
Yeah. But, I mean, that's like a heavily debated statement because Chris was lucid. He wasn't like an 85-year-old dementia patient, you know?
Okay.
And so Sandra, Nancy's sister, she doesn't believe this is true, specifically.
Okay.
She's like, Chris, you could put Chris in any airport blindfolded, and he would know how to get to like any.
Because he'd flown somewhere.
Yeah, he'd know how to get to any gate. She's like, there was no way he was like that far gone in like brain injury spectrum.
Okay, so she's strictly on the. This was a fucked up person making that decision.
We'll get to that.
I'm.
I'm not saying he did like, and she's not saying he didn't have it, but she's just saying like,
let's not excuse all of
how. Yes, like sure. She's saying essentially because Chris's family, like his parents and stuff, were basically like he had CTE. This is why he did this.
It was not him that did this.
Yeah, it was not him that did this. It was like some sort of injury from the CTE that made him do this because also the paranoia was happening.
It's like complicated.
It's very complicated, and like it feels like putting that in like a very fancy fucked up bow like that doesn't seem to really be doing a service to anybody.
Yeah, no, I hear you. Yeah.
And so that's kind of like where Nancy's sister is coming from.
Yes.
And
that's valid.
Yeah, she talks about that like specifically in the Jericho podcast.
Okay.
I would highly recommend if you have any interest in the story, just anybody's listening, to listen to that podcast because she gives some really interesting insight to Chris and Nancy and Daniel in a way that like no one else would know because she was super close to all of them. And she also kind of does it from a place of, for lack of a better word, love. She's like, I don't hate Chris.
It doesn't sound like she does based on what you're saying. It sounds like she's being pretty fair, but also being like I said, like he made a choice. He made choices to do this. Yeah.
And that's kind of where she's coming from. She's like, it's like it's not this thing I can just turn off. She's like, I knew Chris for so long. She's like, we had like so many good memories together. She's like, I just can't act like any of that didn't happen. And yet he still did this
horrible thing.
Yes. So Sandra also talked about, besides the CTE stuff, she said it was kind of a combination of the steroid and pain pill abuse, the CTE and the pressure of Chris having to retire. And there's also some rumors about Chris having an affair with another valet within the WWE. Right. That they're been confirmed or denied. And, she's like, my sister Nancy, she's like, she wasn't necessarily a saint either. She's like, she was probably drinking pretty heavily. She's also probably taking some Xanax or whatever to kind of like cope with like all the loss that she had also suffered. She's like, it just felt like she said, like a pressure cooker where the things were like kind of came to this point, and this point was a really catastrophic moment for a weekend, which is unfortunate because just hindsight. Sandra, I can call her Nancy. Sandra talks about that. She's like, she doesn't really understand why
everyone had to go.
Yes. She's like, because Jericho asks her specifically, he's like, do you think Chris did that because he felt like Daniel would have nowhere to go? Or
sometimes I feel like that is what
you feel like, quote, orphan.
Is that it's better for them this way.
Yeah. And she was like, I know he knows there was no way I was going to let Daniel not grow up without me. She's like, I know that he knows that
he would have had a place to go.
He would have had a place to go.
Well, there's just never any way to explain it.
Yeah.
The truth.
Yeah.
It never makes any sense.
Yeah. And she talked about like how she couldn't have kids. She can't have kids. Oh, gosh. And she's like, that was the only grandchild of my parents were going to have.
Oh my God.
Biologically.
Baby in the family.
Yeah. She says that Chris would have known that I would have taken care of him. I would have taken him in.
It might be more than that. It might not. It might be like, my son can't know what I've done.
Yeah, and there's also that.
I can't let him know what.
Yeah.
Because the shit I am.
You're like, just this fucking moment where I just killed everything.
Yeah, or he can't know this terrible thing I did to his mom. Or
Absolutely.
There's probably a lot of inexplicable reasons.
It's a little bit of an ego thing, I think.
I mentioned that earlier, yes.
Yeah, I think just because, I mean, like wrestlers in general, just, they have egos. They kind of have to in order to, like, perform and do the things they do, right? So, immediately after this, like I said, the WWE did this promotion of Chris's memorial, essentially, his family. And then after I found out what happened, they went into the defensive because everyone was like, he went to roid rage and he did this because of roid rage. Which was like kind of the initial, like, oh my god, he did this because of this. They wanted the defensive, claiming that steroid abuse was not the main factor of Chris's actions, which I think I agree with. And that they had a wellness program placed within the WWE to monitor and to make sure that, like, their wrestlers were not using steroids in order to maintain their physique for wrestling.
And then everybody was scrawny after that?
No. Well, fine. So, with Vince McMahon being a piece of shit, I think we should take that with a grain of salt, because during this time, a huge roster of wrestlers were kind of outed for testing positive for steroids within the WWE. And this comes from the shady pharmacies and shady doctors that the WWE was working with, which is like the entire section of this shit I deleted. It's just, we've gone too long at this point, right?
That's such an interesting part of this, though.
Hold on. So this put a spotlight on the wellness program within the WWE, and the question was if they were actually ensuring the safety of the wrestlers, or if this was just like a facade to, like, appease the people, keep the wheels turning, be like, oh, we're doing this to make sure, because like, at this point there's not been like ton of wrestlers that have died super early because of steroid use.
Yes.
And a big part of this that I listened to from the Behind the Bastards Vince McMahon episode is when the WWE became sports entertainment and not sports.
Okay.
They were able to kind of have this loophole around steroid use the sports world has to, like, kind of adhere to.
Wow.
So basically, Vince McMahon, like, created this.
And an NFL.
Yes, we're not, like, quote unquote sports program.
We're a TV program.
We are sports entertainment. So this is all a facade.
I mean, it's brilliant.
And that's kind of, I think, like, wrestling, when, like, the public knew that wrestling wasn't real. Because Vince McMahon wanted to make sure that he could continue letting these wrestlers be doped up, even to the point of their physical detriment, and just pretending like it was okay.
Yeah.
Because...
And he was doing it too.
Yeah, he was doing it too. So, with this, also with the wellness program being, like, having a spotlight on it, this led to the use of banning chairs being used as props during the matches. I feel like this was, like, the one physical thing they could do.
Sure.
Within the WWE. And this effectively was a wake-up call for a lot of wrestlers within the WWE themselves. They're, I think they saw this. They're like, I don't want to, not end up, but, like, just, like, I don't want to take this road. Like, I see, like, the harm it can cause.
Yeah.
And so, like, there's a lot of wrestlers that kind of, like, this was a wake-up call for them specifically.
Wow. Well, that's good.
Yeah. So, I mean, like, this isn't, like, I don't know what the WWE is now.
I don't either.
I literally cannot listen. I can't do any more wrestling. I just can't. I can't fit more in the goddamn brain cavity. Nancy is survived by her mother, father, and sister that I've talked about. And they established the Nancy and Daniel Benoit Foundation, which I find it interesting that they used the Benoit name.
That was their name?
That was their name.
Actually, why wouldn't you use it? Because,
I mean, yeah, it's notoriety, right?
And also it's like, that's what it is.
So this foundation helps women trying to escape domestic violence situations.
Yeah.
And Chris still has 2 kids surviving from his first marriage. And Nancy's sister, Sandra, talked about beginning to, like, rebuild a relationship with them.
Really?
Yeah.
She sounds like a really special freaking lady.
Yeah, she's like, I do really highly recommend that interview.
Wow.
It's a long interview, it's like 2 hours long, but she just, like, yeah, she has a lot talked about, she has a lot to say, and I think a lot of her stuff she says is very poignant. It's funny because I listened to the last podcast and the last episode of this, and I listened to her interview with Chris Jericho, and it feels like the opposite ends of the conversation. Because the left podcast, the left guys are big wrestling fans.
Oh,
was. Yeah, because we're around there.
I think
it was Ben. Yeah,
yeah.
It was Ben Kissel.
Yeah.
He's all around that podcast. But Marcus was also
a fan. Okay.
Yeah. Henry was the only one who's like, I don't fucking know what you're talking about.
Okay.
But listening to that and listening to Sandra's, like, talk with
take on it.
Yeah, like with Jericho, it was like just, I really did feel like I truly got like both sides of the spectrum. Which is funny because there's been a push recently to get Chris Benoit inducted into the Wrestling Hall of Fame. And like every time they like kind of talk about nominees for this, I guess there's like a big fan base that pushes Chris. And she was like, there's no fucking way this is going to happen. She's like, you guys need to let that go. And she talks about, like, like Chris's matches.
What is happening in the world? Where, like, men can do the most fucking awful shit. And people are like, yeah, but he was a good wrestler. I like his music. Or
I agree.
Like his movies. Or
I agree.
He was a good president. Or whatever the fuck. Like, what the fuck are we doing here?
Yeah, like, he did horrific things.
He killed a child.
A 7-year-old.
His own child.
Yeah.
There's nothing more, like, I know.
Horrific.
I mean, there's no word for it.
Yeah. There's nothing else, like,
hellish.
Yeah.
Frankly.
There's, like, nothing worse you can do in the world.
He was suffering.
Clearly.
This conversation has been very kind.
I've been trying to be as fair as possible.
CV, you have been so kind. But he intended
he did some
kill his whole family.
Yeah.
Kill himself.
Yeah. And that's it. I think that's I'm hopeful that's what you're taking from this is it's that statement of like you're not responsible. What happens to you mental health wise is not like on you, but you are responsible with how you deal with it.
Yeah, and listen, like maybe CTE is another level.
CTE is another thing, but like you also have to recognize that you have, like you and I just talked about having concussions and be fucking new. So you have to recognize like I have this and I have to like there's
get myself help.
Yeah,
we had access to help.
Not really.
We had the money to go and get him.
Later in life, he did. Yes, for
therapy.
Sure. Yeah, but I mean, there's been a couple wrestlers since then that have like kind of retired early because they've had too many concussions. So
yeah,
I mean, yeah,
too far gone.
Yeah, there is some progress in that sense, especially like with wrestling and football.
Yeah, for sure.
But like there's still a huge conversation around CTE specifically.
But no, Hall of Fame. No.
Hall of Fame, just no fucking way.
Sorry, no family annihilators allowed.
Yeah,
it's the least of the criteria.
Yeah, and
that should be excluded.
Yeah, and there's like some talk about there's some wrestlers that can't show their best matches because they were against Chris, and like the WWE has effectively wiped him from the history of WWE.
Well, sorry.
Which is, I don't think bad is the word. It's ironic because how much Chris committed his life to wrestling to be effectively wiped out of it because of the actions he took.
It's tragic. It's a fucking tragedy.
Yeah, it is a tragedy. It's just tragedy all around. It's
like
unfortunate. But the thing that really pisses me off is no one talks about Nancy's matches. You know, Nancy's matches don't like getting highlighted. They're not getting talked about because she was a valet, but she also had some pretty big moments within the wrestling community where like you could also highlight her because she was also very committed to wrestling. She was a manager. She was managed so many people, and she wanted to like build a business from wrestling. So with the same fucking statement you make about Chris, you also have to make about Nancy, but like people aren't doing that. Chris has been effectively wiped from WWE's history. And recently, they started showing some of his matches, but not like a ton. I think kind of like the big ones. I think like WrestleMania 20 is probably the big one.
I'm not sure what it what it does to benefit anybody to like pretend like it didn't happen.
Right.
That's kind of weird.
I mean, that's Vince McMahon saving face. That's Vince McMahon acting like this didn't happen on his fucking watch.
Sounds like you wanted to do a Vince McMahon episode. See?
Listen to the Vince McMahon Behind the Bastards.
Behind the Bastards is so good.
Behind the Bastards. So, the one thing about the Vince McMahon episode that I really fucking, I don't know if love is the right word, I guess enjoyed, even though it's a horrific series, is the same guy that was the guest host on the Steven Seagal episode is the same guy on the Vince McMahon episode.
Okay.
And the Steven Seagal episode is the episodes I always recommend to people because the guest host does such a fucking good Steven Seagal impression and makes such good fun of Steven Seagal, and it's so fucking funny that I have to like carry it over.
Does he do a good Vince McMahon?
No, he doesn't. But like Robert Evans, which is the host of Behind the Bastards, he calls him Sean Baby. I can't imagine that's his fucking name. But the love I have for Sean Baby carries over. So maybe that's why I enjoy Vince. I mean,
you said it was a 5-part?
it's 6.
It's a lot.
It's a lot.
That's a lot.
I have dived deep into wrestling. And I don't want to be here anymore.
Well, let's wrap this shit. You did so good.
Thank you.
This is awful.
It's awful.
But I thought you did really.
It's terrible.
Really, very sensitive. Honestly, some might say apologetic. Maybe it was apologetic.
I don't want to do that.
You weren't.
Okay.
We were not. But
yeah,
I thought you were very sensitive.
Yeah, I tried very hard.
You did.
Yeah, I do so much research for this one, and yeah, I mean,
it's a lot of red flags.
A lot of red
Need to
flags.
take care of ourselves.
I think that's the big one. Don't take steroids.
No, and if you're gonna take steroids, maybe don't also like abuse your body, not sleep, do drugs.
I'll use alcohol.
Like whatever it is.
Yeah.
Like you can only let's choose one.
Yeah.
Choose one.
Have a vice.
Yeah.
My vice
Balance.
is tequila. As we usually take a shot of at the beginning of this episode. Occasionally. That I have decided that is a year thing. It's a new thing. It's like 3 episodes in at this point.
Yeah.
Taking tequila shots.
Yeah. Well, it was like pre-Mexico. Then it was
Yeah, the one we did last week.
Mexico, and now
This is 3. Number 3. This is episode 7. It's mostly half of our episodes.
What a good episode. Thank you.
Yeah,
Very
you're welcome.
thorough.
Yeah.
I really like the research.
Let's see.
I mean, deep dive. I mean, I'm not gonna lie, this didn't feel like a deep dive. I could have gone further. But you only go so far before you lose control. So, which is the moral of the story for this episode, I think.
Yeah, she summed it up.
Yeah, we did. All right, well, thanks for listening. And we will talk to you next week.
Bye, bitch.
Thank you so much for listening. For podcast updates and episode photos, be sure to follow us on Instagram at Grimly Podcasts. Also, be sure to rate and review our episodes, and we will see you next week for another episode.